Okay, so welcome to Tennis Mental Performance. Today, once again, we've got the amazing Mark Pepin with us. He's got some great updates for us on his tennis adventures on the tour, and we're going to dive into them. And of course, we want to find out the mental challenges that Mark's had and how he overcame them along the way, so that you can benefit from watching this interview. So, first of all, welcome, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you once again. Um, so we want to find out how you got on, and we know you hit an amazing milestone. Do you want to kind of update us on what that was?
Yeah, so I went on a 6-week tour. I went to France and southern France and Germany
Yeah,
and Turkey to play 4 tournaments. I ended up with 2 goal force over, and the important milestone that I hit, as I've been talking about it for about a year, I wanted to reach number one in the world, and I got it in mixed doubles. So
brilliant.
I was very happy when I reached the finals in Turkey to do that. And if I do well in Mont Tremblant in June, then I hit number one in the world in men's doubles as well. So that's my next goal. Yeah.
First class. So congratulations on that, and I've no doubt you're going to give it a real go in the next tournament. So well done on that. So let's find out. So let's take you back. So you played 4 tournaments. What were your
Yeah.
biggest challenges? Uh,
Yeah.
you went
Yeah.
through
There were challenges. In Beaulieu-sur-Mer, there was a day where it rained.
them.
So, and it was the last day of the final. So when that happens, the tournament organizer is desperate to finish the tournament. So he's basically asking us players to stay on the court
Yeah,
because if I take, I had 4 matches. If I take a break, that's 4 hours of break. That means the tournament doesn't get finished. So, oh my God. So I did it. I stayed on the court 4 straight matches
uh,
and with no break, just like stay on. The next opponents come on, then the next, then the next, then the next. But then it affected my mixed final because by the end of that fourth match, I had nothing left in the tank, and we ended up losing that match. But that's okay. At least the tournament got completed. So that was one challenge. Yeah,
yeah. So you
yeah,
had nothing left in the tank, and that's understandable. You know, it would take a lot out of you. So I know it
yeah.
would take a lot out of you physically. So mentally, how draining was that, and how did you? I know your experience plays a lot in your game, Mark, but how did that take its toll on you and even your partner?
Okay, so it was, to be honest, Robert, that one, it was mostly a physical thing. It wasn't mental at all
Right.
because I was like I was just physically exhausted. I couldn't, the last 2 games, I could hardly walk across to hit a forehand. So, so mentally, I thought, man, that's fine. That's part of the game. And
Yeah.
then the next tournament in Menton, I had a similar experience where uh, I had a flight to catch to go to Turkey, and I needed to play the finals on Friday, and I had to catch a flight Saturday, and I got to Friday. The match couldn't be scheduled for Saturday,
Yeah.
so I ended up, losing that match with a walkover. So, that was a bit disappointing, but it's mentally it was okay. Now, the mental problem that I had was since we're talking about mental tennis here, where
Yeah.
I was in the finals in Turkey in the 1000 and the doubles, and it was a very crucial match because for me it was important. So I was playing with Gil White from Canada. We won the first set, I think 6-4, and I thought, okay, I think we're going to win this match. So mentally, I'm like, okay, this is going good. We're playing well. Nothing is going wrong. We're in tune. Everything is going well. In the second set, we're at 4-all once again. Gil's about to serve. I'm still absolutely confident that we're going to win the match. Everything is going right.
Yeah.
About an hour and a half, everything is going right. I'm playing well. Gil's playing well, and it's looking pretty good. And Robert, within the space, I'd say the next 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Get this, we ended up losing that second set 6-4, which was a real shock.
Yeah.
And then in a 10-point tiebreaker, they went up 5-0. So within 10 minutes, I'm thinking I'm going to win. Oh
Yeah.
my God, now I'm down 5-0 in the third. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I said to Gil, we have no chance. We're down 5-0.
Yeah.
I'm in shock.
Yeah.
Like it's not, it was a one pendulum swing right to the other from knowing that we're going to win, now knowing that we're going to lose. And it
Yeah.
happened so fast. And I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever had such a dramatic swing in 10 minutes. And then my partner, Gil, he said, no, come on, Mark, don't give up. Let's play 1 point at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, okay. So he was right. So we went from being down 5-0. We rolled off 8 straight points to go up 8-5, and then we closed it out at 10-8. Unbelievable.
Wow.
And I got to credit my partner for that
Yeah.
because he had more faith in our comeback than I did. I thought we were done.
Yeah. It's,
Like yeah, yeah,
well, the
yeah,
thing is, if it changed in the space of 10 minutes for you dramatically, it can change it back the other way.
yeah,
As well. So,
it, yeah.
so credit to your partner. It's not over till it's over as well.
I know, I know, but Robert, it's almost like I went into shock. Like you're feeling good, you're feeling high, everything is going well, you're gonna win, blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. And then 10 minutes later, everything has gone wrong. We've missed easy shots, they've won games, they're up fives, and I don't understand what just happened. Like usually things can happen because they're playing better, or I'm hitting shots in the net, or I'm missing my serves, but
Yeah.
it's I don't even know what happened, but
Yeah.
credit to Gil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be a reason. I watch a lot of tennis matches, and it's like, someone gets beat 6-love, and then it's all of a sudden that they come back and like win 6-1 or something like that. It's,
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
what is that all about? You know?
I know. I know. Robert, I was looking what you just said. I was looking at some scores of some tournaments, and you're absolutely right. I saw some matches where one guy won 6-0 in the first, and then I
Yeah.
look at his second set score and he lost 6-1. I know it's unbelievable. Like,
Yeah. I, I
yeah,
know I know one of the reasons can be, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Um, some of the big servers, they give all this effort in the first set, and they seem to smash the first set, and then the second one, their serve goes down a level because they're starting to get a little bit tired, and then they get beat. The better player kind of comes through, if they are better players, and then they take over as well. Now that they've adjusted as well, is that your experience from the big servers?
um, okay, so the big servers that I run into that are like top 10 in the world, no, they don't have that problem. Their
Right,
serve does not go down.
right,
So they'll be serving big into the third set. What I've noticed in those score and from my own experience,
yeah,
if I've won the first set 6-love or 6-1, I get too much relaxation. It's like, oh, that was so easy.
yeah,
And then you get that minute and a half break and you start the second set. And I'm thinking, oh, I don't even have to try. I can just go through the motions and win the second set 6-love. But what
yeah,
usually happens is that I relax too much and my opponent gets desperate, where now he's got to bring his game way up. And then it's a complete reversal. Then they win 6-1. So
yeah,
so those sets that have gone 6-love and then 6-1 for the other person, to me, that's what usually happens. I don't see the big servers getting tired. Maybe if someone's ranked, 700th in the world and they're not in good shape,
yeah,
that can happen. But the big guys, no, they're not getting tired in the second set. If anyone
yeah.
gets tired, it'll be 3, 4, 5 hours into the third set. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's maybe the longer it goes on, if it's a tough match, then it could play a factor. For
yeah. It
the
plays a
serve.
factor. Yeah, a
Yeah.
big server deep into a third set will start to tire out, even if he's in good shape. Yeah, for sure.
So for
Yeah.
anybody watching, then, if they are ahead, so if they win the first set easy enough, it's almost as if they should pretend they lost it, and be
Yeah,
even more determined to win the next set. Because you can be,
I know.
as you said, your opponent's going to be, you know, having a good talk to themselves, or their coach is going to be having a good talk with them, to try and motivate them to try harder in the next set. So
Yeah,
you've got to combat that, and not get complacent.
Yeah, I'll admit that's been one of my flaws.
Yeah,
If I look at my ITF record and I look at my scores where I've easily won the first set, 6-love,
yeah,
6-1, and then I look at the second set and I've lost that set 6-1. So I tend to relax a bit too much myself.
yeah,
That's a flaw that I have to get over. I know that it's happened quite a bit. Yeah,
yeah.
where
I,
yeah,
I know some players that they're winning, especially in a final of something. They're winning, and it's almost the excitement to start thinking about the trophy and the ceremony and the congratulations, and then they completely lose it. You know.
I know, I know, because when I had that match with Gil, remember I said we won 6-4, it's 4-all, and I
Yeah.
said, Gil, you're about to serve. As I'm giving him the ball, that's going through my mind, the trophy, the presentation, the ranking going up, and then 10 minutes later, everything falls apart. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's
yeah,
just really a complete change of focus. You're not focusing on the match.
yeah,
You're focusing on the glory, the success, and just
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
I
it's really
know,
staying focused till the last points played,
exactly.
and
Till the very end. Yeah,
it's easier
yeah,
said than done. It's trying to keep that out of your head and just
I
focus on
know.
the match. So
Yeah,
all credit to your opponent for keeping it one ball at a time. That's good advice.
I know. Yeah, 1 point at a time. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've been thanking him for like 2 weeks now. Yeah, yeah,
Well, that's where winners are made. You're up the rankings now, and that's the difference. You were 8 points down in a tiebreak, and you came back to win. That's you deserve your ranking then. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. It was a miracle comeback. Yeah, being down 5-0 and then winning 8 straight points. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, that was good. Yeah,
yeah. The other thing to remember too is for your opponents to come back, that's a big exertion too. Mentally and physically to come back from a pasting, whipping in the first set. So to come back from that, it takes a lot out of them. So it could have helped. Then you started to get more determined when you were down as well,
yeah,
take it one point at a time.
yeah.
So it's funny how these things swing from one to the
Oh,
next.
I know, I know. I watched some matches in Turkey where I'm watching my friend. He's losing the first set.
Uh,
Oh, and he's upset. So I walk away. I don't want to upset him. I come back an hour later. Oh, he just won the second. I know it's so funny how
yeah.
in tennis it swings. And then when I come back in the second, he goes, "No, no, don't leave. I want you to watch the third set." You know.
Maybe you're
So
as lucky charm.
exactly, yeah, exactly. Lucky charm. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, if you're watching a match and your friend's winning, he
Yeah.
wants you to stay. Oh yeah, there's no question. Lucky charm. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, obviously, want to ask you more about, but just saying we're talking about lucky charms. Is there any, have you, or is there any unusual superstitions you've noticed throughout the years from different players?
Um,
Like a
yeah,
lucky
yeah,
socks or something?
some people when they step on the court, they want to wear their lucky shirt, like it's a blue one that they won last week in the finals with. So they're gonna wear that shirt.
Right.
Some other people like to make sure on the changeovers they've got their bottle of water, their Gatorade, their chocolate bar,
Yeah.
like right beside them. Some people they're superstitious. They want to make sure they try and serve first,
Mm.
or they want to serve from that side of the court, not from the other side. Some people are superstitious about the meal the night before, going
Yeah.
about what time going to bed. Yeah, everyone has their little quirks, no question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
like a little
yeah,
ritual to have it, even if they don't know they're doing it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so we talked about that tough match. Any other interesting matches or moments that come to mind over the last few weeks?
Um, no, because everything went well. I'm pretty happy. I mean, besides those incidences, that there wasn't too much else. I'm now more focused on my next adventure, which next week I go to Italy for 2 weeks
Yeah.
and to play a 400 and a 700, and they're not important in the rankings. They won't affect me one way or another. So for these two, I'm going to Rome because I've never been to Rome, so that's why I'm going. And
Yeah.
I'm also going to play doubles and mixed with close friends, as opposed to trying to win the tournament with someone top five in the world. So
Yeah.
it's going to be more for me. It's going to be two very relaxing weeks, and then I come back in June, and I
Mhm.
got those two big tournaments in Mont Tremblant in Peru, where I have to try and win those tournaments. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. So this would be a good preparation then. Do you think it's just a bit more relaxing with friends? Think
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
good part of your plan going into the Peru matches, the tougher matches.
yeah, yeah. It's good. Yeah, it's going to be a good 2 week trial, and then I'm going to do more sightseeing, obviously in Rome,
Yeah.
than I usually do at tournaments. So because I really want to see Rome, and I mean, yeah, and I'm just, Robert, I was gone 6 weeks. I'm just thankful not to be injured, not to have any
Yeah.
injuries, and now I can keep moving forward. Yeah,
Yeah. And I
yeah.
know you weren't injured. Did you get were you suffering from a cold or an infection or something? I might have seen.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. When I had 2 weeks off and I went to train in Germany
Uh-huh.
between southern France and Turkey. I had the 2 weeks off. So when I landed in Germany, I felt sick and I went to get tested. Yeah, I had COVID. So I was in bed
Uh,
for 5 days. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's
So,
that's
yeah.
the pressures of on tour
I know, but
traveling.
I'm just glad. I'm just glad that I got COVID the day after the finals. So that and Turkey didn't start till 2 weeks later. So I was very fortunate
Perfect.
to catch it during those 2 weeks off. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I know you do enjoy yourself. I mean, you meet people,
yeah.
you know, you're sightseeing, you see new places. How important is that for your mentality? You know, it's having time for yourself rather than training all the time.
Yeah, that as I get older and play tournaments, it definitely helps because what happens, you end up playing the same tournaments over and over.
Yeah.
So there's nothing left to see. I've sightseed everything I've wanted to see. So
Yeah.
so what I try and do once or twice a year is to add one new tournament that I've never been to
Yeah.
that I really want to go to. And this year it's Rome. Next year it's going to be Bournemouth, England,
Ah,
and the year after that's going to be Morocco. So I've already penciled in 3 tournaments just to keep my mind going, a new place, new sightseeing, and yeah, it's important for sure.
I'll have to get over and see you when you're in Bournemouth. That's it's not that
Oh,
far away. Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll
Oh,
be
that's
pretty
great.
cool. Yeah. I'll buy you a
Okay.
beer.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's another thing, you know, I know that you build this in, as you said, you start to add a new tournament in. How important
Yep.
is that? I know it's while you're competing, it's mentally good. How important is that to keep you going and being involved in tennis? Because you know, you've been involved a long time. Some other people give up.
Yeah, they give up.
Life
You're
gets
right.
busy,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
um, you know, I don't ever suspect that you've lost your enthusiasm for the game. So what's that secret to stay
Well,
enthusiastic?
yeah. Again, I'm a very enthusiastic person by nature. So what I try and do is that number one, set realistic goals. Like I'm just not going to play the ITF tour, show up and play a match, walk off the court, and not
Yeah,
know what I'm doing, where I'm going. So I have goals, and I try to reach these goals, whether
yeah,
it's staying in shape, winning a certain event, or maintaining a ranking, but I also make sure that when I'm at these tournaments, there's a bit of enjoyment, like having dinner with my
yeah,
friends, hanging out with my friends, watching matches, doing a bit of sightseeing, having some success on the court,
yeah.
trying to minimize anything negative in my life, like when I go to a tournament, when I leave Toronto here next week,
Hmm.
uh, to Italy, I make sure that I've gone to the post office, I got my hair cut. Like I try to get everything done so
Yeah,
that there's no stress when I arrive in Italy. So that's the other thing. Get rid of all your stress. Yeah,
yeah. Totally.
yeah.
You know, it's that's something. You know, a lot of that uses a lot of energy up, especially
Oh,
mental energy. So if you've got
yeah.
mental baggage or things to do,
Yep.
just do them,
Yep.
and then
I know.
they're not hanging over you. So it's good, great advice as well. And then
Yeah, like,
to give you that energy, it's obviously sightsee. It's those relationships, camaraderie with your friends and your
yeah,
competitors too. Um, so good, great advice for anybody watching this. You got to look
yeah,
after yourself.
yeah. Like the stress I would have had, Robert, just before I left for the 6 week tour, it was tax time, and I wanted to have my income tax filed and done
Yeah,
with before I left. Otherwise, it's hanging on my head. I don't know what
absolutely.
receipts are coming in. I
Yeah,
didn't want to be on the court in an important match thinking, oh my God, my tax return isn't done. It's due. Like so so I
yeah,
got rid of that baggage before I left for the European tour. And that helped. And my mind was clear for those 6 weeks.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people to do. You know, you gotta.
Oh,
It's doing the things that you don't necessarily want to do, but they're necessary. It's like filing your
yeah.
tax return or paying bills or
Yeah.
dealing with something outstanding. Just get it all done. Take an afternoon, get it all done, and that's it done.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it ever again,
Yeah.
till next year, or
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
will throw something else up anyway.
Yeah.
It's like when
Exactly.
you're
Yeah.
traveling, you got COVID, or sometimes your flights, are delayed. You've got
Oh,
enough coming up without adding to it.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you have plenty of
Yeah.
stories about the traveling side of things as well.
I could tell you half an hour of horror stories on flying.
Yeah,
So many things I've had so many things go wrong on flights. It's yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway.
And
Yeah.
we'll keep that for another time. And anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. And so, in the last, say, 4 weeks, what would be the
Yeah.
biggest insight you could share with anybody watching this? Um, um, Even if you want to break it down to different age groups, if there's kind of young people watching this, what would you tell them? And if there's older ones, what would you
Yeah.
say to them as well?
Okay. So yeah, younger kids, like if you've got a dream, like you want to be number one junior in your state under 16, there's no reason not to do it. Like follow that dream. Like whatever your dream is in the tennis world. Number one in your city, in your province, in your state, in the country. You want to win a certain tournament. It can all happen. So
Yeah,
just you know, like follow the dream. Do what's necessary, whether it's diet, training, traveling, getting the right partner, or whatever.
yeah,
Like you'd be amazed at what could happen. Like for me, when I started, Robert, the ITF tour
yeah.
15 years ago, I was ranked 720th in the world
Right.
with no clue that I would ever be number one. Like, no, it didn't even wasn't even in my brain that I could ever do that. And then some of my friends were saying, Mark, you're getting better. You could get to number one.
Yeah,
So 2016, I started to think, well, geez, maybe I can. Maybe now I got to set a new goal,
yeah,
follow that dream, and I did. I followed my dream. Yeah. So kids, follow your dream, and then the older uh, senior tennis masters players, just I know some of my friends. Oh, they want to quit. They want to try pickleball. I mean,
yeah,
if you're not injured and you don't have hip surgery or shoulder rotator cuff, like tennis, my doctor said, Mark, keep playing tennis. You'll add 10 years to your life.
yeah,
Like it's huge. It's keeps my brain focused. It's good for my muscles. It keeps me slim.
yeah.
So there's a lot of health benefits to tennis when you're an older player. So I would say to my friends who are older, keep playing. You'll live longer. No question. Yeah.
So yeah, and I just want to bring it back around to something. So we talked about, obviously the social life, the
Yeah.
keeping your health, it keeps your mental health good. Um, you get a sightsee and travel. How important is it? And because I know you're gonna give me the right answer here, Mark. How important is it to want to win?
Um, okay. It depends what your goal is. Like
Yeah,
some people enter, I know this from just talking to people. Some
yeah,
people enter tournaments because, oh, it's a vacation. They're going to Mallorca. So they're in the tennis tournament, but they know they're not very strong. They know they're going to lose first round. So
yeah,
to them, winning is not important at all. They're there to to play a couple matches,
Yeah.
to watch other matches, to go to the beach, do some sightseeing. So we call this the tourist tennis players. So
Right.
they're there just to have fun,
And that's okay.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's good. That gives
Yeah.
them a chance to travel around the world, play a few matches, and then there's the players that that want to win. Their talent isn't quite there, so they end up losing in the semis or quarterfinals all the time. But they enjoy the sport. They
Yeah.
try to motivate themselves to try to eventually win a tournament, get to a final. You see them a lot
Yeah.
at the tournaments. They're always one step below the cusp. Sometimes they get to that final.
Yeah.
And then there's some of us, including myself, that hey, when I'm sorry, when we enter a tournament, we're there to win it,
Yeah.
and we're going to do whatever it takes, whether it's diet, training, uh, getting the right partner, getting to sleep, hitting 1,000 balls that morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're there to win. Yeah, no
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew exactly what you would say there. So if you want to have fun, fine, that's not a
Yeah.
problem. If you're competitive and you want to win, but maybe you haven't got the natural talent or the time, maybe you've got a busy job and you haven't got the time to do all the training,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
that's great too. But if you want to win, it's exactly what you said, Mark. You've got to put in some dedication into that.
Yep.
And sport
Yeah.
is about winning as well. It's no
Yeah.
fun. People say you play for fun, but I always say well, it's not fun losing all the time. It's being the whipping boy. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's fun. So
Yeah.
you got to put in some sort
You
of
got to put in the
dedication.
time and the effort.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And I
I,
think
I, I, oh,
that
go ahead.
keeps you can tell me if this is true. I think that's what keeps you mentally alert
Oh,
as
yes.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you're focused and say your goal is to be number one, you're like mental energy, you're practicing hard, you're training hard, you're playing practice matches, your mind is in control, you're focused, you're not depressed, you're not tired. Yeah, yeah. I think a high level of tennis is very good for the brain. I
yeah,
really do. Yeah.
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 No,
Yeah.
I totally agree. I was a couple of minutes left. I just wanted to dive into how do you handle a losing streak?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's been a few, like last summer, I hit a losing streak during my summer months, July and August. And that was tough because I had won a lot of tournaments up until uh, July 1st. And then I hit a losing streak between the months of July and August. I hardly won any tournaments. And then thank God, September, it came back up. So how do you handle it? Boy, it's tough because you start second guessing yourself. You're thinking, what's wrong with me? All
Yeah,
right, how do I change this? Do I got to try harder? Do I got to train different? Do I get a new coach? Like you're trying to figure out something to get out of that streak.
yeah,
And for me, I had it 2 months and I really didn't change too much. I just naturally snapped out of it. I went to Austria and I won.
yeah,
So I didn't do anything different. I didn't fire my coach. I didn't, like spend one more hour a day on the court. I just, I think the only thing I might have done is just play my practice matches a little bit tougher and trained a bit harder.
yeah,
But yeah, it's tough if you get into a losing streak because I ran into an Italian player named Pepe Vinto
mm,
who was in Mexico, and I hung out with him, and he had lost 5 straight finals, like 5 times in a row
yeah,
that he came second. He was just devastated. He was
yeah,
like, I thought he was going to jump off a bridge. He was,
yeah,
yeah. It gets on your head.
yeah,
You're right. If you get on a losing streak, but I was fortunate enough to have won in Austria, and then from that point on, I was back to you know advancing and winning finals. So, it was a bit tough. It was definitely last July and August a bit tough mentally. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
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 I think it's really tough for. I think you were able to snap out of it because you'd won before, so you can identify as a winner. But if you're that person that always comes second, I think that must be so tough. You're not getting wins. You're good. You're good to finals, but you consistently, come in second. I think that must be
Yeah,
really tough, and because you start to identify as a loser, you know,
I know.
even though you've like beat everybody else in the tournament apart from the final guy.
Yeah.
So it must be so tough, you know.
Yeah. So Robert, what I've noticed in the senior players is the ones who have difficulty losing. So they'll come out for a year, they'll try the tour, and then they lose all their matches. And then, so what they'll do, they won't keep on playing and playing, losing and losing. They'll take a year or two off and then come back in 2 or 3 years and try it again. So
Mm,
I do see that. And then sometimes that works and then sometimes it doesn't. They give themselves a break from that mental losing all the time. So that I see. I see guys all of a sudden they've stopped the tour. Oh, and then you don't see them
right.
sometimes even 5 years later. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's food for thought for me to like look
Yeah.
into that as well.
Yeah.
So I'd love to talk to
Yeah.
some people like that as well, see what
Yeah.
their thoughts are, their beliefs. Um,
Yeah.
yes, and it can be some things outside of tennis that could be into or influencing the results. We talked about earlier, that mental energy. So if things aren't going
Yeah.
in, if they're still working in a job,
Yeah.
so something could be going on there. It's just kind of holding it back. And,
Yeah.
on a final note, when I talk about mental energy, I know you spoke earlier about your friends said, you're good enough. You were 700th in the world, and your friends started to say you're good enough, and you eventually got to number one. I, I'm wondering how important is that to have friends that are encouraging as opposed to people that say, you should give that up, or maybe you're not good enough.
Yeah. Robert, very important
Yeah.
because I had positive friends and that believed in me, and it kind of made me okay. Well, if they think I can be number one, yeah, maybe I'll start to believe it, and then
Yeah.
that allowed me to train harder and whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Positive friends is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So surround yourself with positive friends. Instead of negative ones, for
Oh,
sure. You know,
oh, sure.
because
Yeah.
they'll take away your energy. Where positive friends will give you the
Yeah.
extra energy from them. And I've heard before that it's your results are the kind of the result of who you hang about with, who your
Yeah.
five closest friends or people that you hang about with the most, and that's a
Yeah.
reflection on the results that you get. So that seems to
Yeah.
be definitely true for you, Mark. Uh,
Yeah.
anyway, so. Thank you very much for today. We'll catch up again in maybe a month's
Okay.
time, and we'll see how you're getting on. And it's always
Okay.
a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Robert, for talking. Cheers.
You're welcome.